every year there's a print edition that gets circulated across different universities. The photograph over here is the cover page of the 3rd anniversary print edition of this year. And this magazine was actually started by the initiative of a couple of students from the YUVA campus in 2006-07. Besides this, there are some special things that we do, and this photograph is from the Candle Peace Vigil held on campus in December 2008. It was conducted in collaboration with other student organizations on campus in response to the terrorist attacks that happened in November 2008 in Mumbai. You might have read about them. So it was a good event. It was good to see people turning up. There were close to 400 people that turned up that day. And it's good to see people coming together for these causes. That was about Hindu Yuva. I think I took too long of your time. We should move to our main event, that's Understanding India, Her Culture and Contributions. It's a Speakers on Campus program where we have 2 speakers today with us. The first speaker is Dr. Yashwant Pathak, who will be talking about Introduction to Indian Culture and Traditions. These are only some of the points in his very diverse and great profile. He has a PhD in Pharmaceutical Technology. He is currently a Professor and Assistant Dean of Research at Sullivan University, College of Pharmacy in Louisville, Kentucky. He is also a founder member of International Center of Cultural Studies, and he is a member of the World Council of Elders. So he'll be giving the first talk. The second talk of the day would be by Shri Harvilas Das, who will be talking about Ayurveda. He is the CEO of the company Uncle Harry's Natural Products, which are just Ayurvedic products which they build for people in US. And he's also the director of Vedic Cultural Center in Samamish. It's also called ISKCON, whatever name you know. Without taking more of your time, I'd like to invite Dr. Yashwant Pathak. He's with us today to give the first talk. We welcome you.
A clash between the 2 cultures, pharmacist and technology. So they do take time. So I'm going to talk about the Indian culture and tradition. Interestingly, I'll share a very interesting story because that will really clear the thing. Once I was in Ghana, and Ghana there was a temple which was a Gita temple, and then I talked to the president. And then the president said that, you know, everybody comes to our temple and he talks about Gita, Gita, Gita. So this time you talk about Ramayana. But then the president forgot to tell that to the secretary. And secretary never talked to me. So he was waiting for me that Yashwant Pathak will come and talk about things. So he waited, but he never saw me. So he just announced that, okay, Yashwant Pathak has been associated with Gita for whole of his life. So he will talk about Gita now. Now because there was a communication gap, the Ramayana Gita got all confused. The same thing happened once a while. But actually, I would like to show you this slide. This is one of the recent most slide. If you have seen the New York Times on 20th of April, there is a very beautiful slide, and I loved this, and I said, let me share with you. This was the first slide which was shown to General McChrystal. Yeah. And he was talking about the war in Afghanistan, and they wanted to understand the whole war. So this was said, and then he dryly remarked a very beautiful remark. He said that when we understand, the title of that topic was, we have made the enemy, and the enemy is PowerPoint. And then he said that when we understand that slide, we have won the war. And that's how the rest of the world always thinks about. So when any simple thing is there, you give it in the hands of people, and they make a PowerPoint out of it, and it becomes more confusing and confusing. And that's why when Indian culture was talked or thought about by other people of the world, they always created a PowerPoint for Indian culture like this. And then really, in truth, this was the real picture. That Indian culture is nothing but an Om, and that one Om can symbolize the whole thing. And you can understand the Indian culture in a very nice way just by understanding Om. But then once it goes into other hand, they create a PowerPoint out of that. So this next slide. So as a philosophy, if you understand, we believe in certain basic things. As an Indian or as a Hindu, we believe in certain basic things. One of the basic things is that we believe that there is an all-pervasive human being. It called as different names, might be a great spirit, God. It is always immanent, transcendent, both creator and unmanifest, the reality, the Maya and then the creation of the God. And it is very hard for the people to really understand this. Second thing, we believe that the universe undergoes an endless cycle of creation. So we always believed in a cyclic lifestyle. And this cyclic lifestyle is very nicely expressed by a symbol in Indian culture, which is a snake eating its tail. And if you see the symbol of Ramakrishna Mission, this is the symbol. And believe it or not, very interestingly, in Ghana, the African traditions also have that symbol. And the African traditions in Ghana, which is the Asante tradition, they use that symbol showing the cyclic lifestyle. And they also, many of the world's ancient traditions also believe in this birth and rebirth cycle and preservation and dissolution of it. And not only that, we also believe in karma. And this karma theory is a very unique contribution what India has done, or the Hindus have done, the law of cause and effect by which each individual creates his or her own destiny by thought, words and deeds. Very interestingly, I just have a nice picture there of a sleeping baby. For an Indian, he is born with this philosophy. It is his way of life since his childhood. He may not be understanding what he is talking at this stage, but right from the beginning, right from the day the child is born, he lives this philosophy. So for an Indian, it becomes very easy to believe in all these things. For other people, it becomes very tough, because I used to teach in one of the university here, and one of my chairperson was following a Christian tradition. So he always used to come to my office and we'll have a lot of discussion. And he used to say that, I don't understand you guys. I said, why you don't understand? Our Masiha proclaimed that there is only one God, and by the time we understand this God in a proper fashion, we had already 172 sects, from Catholic to Protestant to Seventh Adventist, Presbyterian, Jehovah Witness, this. And how you guys manage so many gods? For us to manage one God is such a tough thing. We became 172 sects. For you, you have 33 crore, 330 million gods, and still how you manage this is a challenge. But the reason and key is Indians live this dharma or this concept of like a child, and right from the childhood we just live that, so it is very easy for us to digest that. As a philosophy, we also believe that the soul reincarnates and evolving through many births until all karmas have been resolved, and believe that divine being exists in unseen inner worlds, and that temple worship, ritual, sacraments are a personal, devotional, create a communion between the God and then the creation of the God. And this is another very simple thing which we practice in the life. So it's not a new thing for us. It becomes a ritual, daily lifestyle, daily way of life. And that's why we comfortably take this diversity in our life without asking a question. So in India, if you ask any child, so how they bow down to Ganesha, he will never ask you a question, why Ganesha, why he has an elephant head, or why he looks like so odd, why his belly is so big. We don't have all these questions. Once that child is born in America, as a Hindu in America, he has all those 100 questions. And then the parents who come from India, they can't answer those questions. So the child, so in India, these questions will never come to us because we live with this type of concept in our life. So another thing which we believe is a very interesting thing. We believe that there is a spiritual guru. So every person in his life needs a guru. And this guru is almost at par with the God. And believe it or not, the first thing which we learn in our, as soon as we are born, who is the first guru for Hindus or for everybody in humanity? It is the mother. And that's why without blinking our eyes, our Hindu philosophers, or without blinking our eyes, our Hindus say Matru Devo Bhava. Mother is the God. There is nobody else. You have to, mother is the God for all the Indians, for all the Hindus. And that's how it starts, Pitru Devo Bhava. Father is the